Alright guys, this week's episode is brought to you by Rockstar Energy Drink. It is the official energy drink of the Cine-Men movie podcast, available in over 20 different flavors in 30 different countries. Try one now today. I'm addicted to the hardcore green apple. It's the active energy drink for people who live active lifestyles. Get you a can and support the Cine-Men movie podcast.
A martini, shaken, not stirred.
I don't know how to put this, but I'm kind of a big deal.
Houston, we have a problem.
Do or do not. There is no try.
Nobody puts baby in a corner.
We're gonna need a bigger boat.
Keep your friends close, but your enemies closer.
I'm your number one fan.
And here we go.
Welcome to another edition of the Cine-Men movie podcast. Happy Monday, moviegoers, and how's everybody going today? Zach, we'll start with you. How you doing?
Doing good. Back to be back.
Joined also alongside here with Ed.
Hey, how's it going, folks?
And today we are talking Hocus Pocus from 1993. Everybody wanted this movie last year. We didn't give them to them. It actually lost its poll to The Nightmare Before Christmas, and I still had an overwhelming amount of emails and comments and messages about Hocus Pocus. So here we are today. But man, how's everybody going? Everybody had a good week?
So far, so good, yeah.
Yeah, Zach?
Doing good. Got a lot of recent watches in, so
Yeah.
excited about to talk about them.
I have a lot of recent watches to talk about as well. I also have a bunch of questions, and I also want you guys to give me some advice on some recent watches, because I have 10 whole days coming up where I don't have to do anything. Having a nice Jack Torrance 10-day staycation. So I'm going to need you guys to help me pick out some stuff to watch. Other than that, last week's episode of Saw from 2004 actually did better than I thought it was going to do.
Yeah.
We reached the 290 download mark, almost 300. And then the Joker episode, the bonus episode, is still at an amazing 367 downloads.
Nice.
Yeah, and it's only been out 3 weeks. So, yeah, it's reaching. I mean, it's, even though it's a bonus episode, it's probably going to be.
I think with the hype of the Joker, it's kind of died down a little bit. People are starting to go check it out.
Still really good. I highly recommend it. Well, let's dig into some recent watches. Ed, you want to get in first?
So far, I've actually, of course, watched Hocus Pocus again just to kind of freshen up a little bit.
We'll talk about that.
And then, on top of that, I watched one that just, I don't know, the name kind of stuck out to me, and it was a fantasy one, so I was just like, okay, I'll check it out. So I watched a little movie called I Kill Giants. And, I don't know, it was a little bit weird. I don't know, if you...
Is it a fantasy film?
Okay, well, a mix. It's a mix of reality or drama with fantasy as well. And at the latter half, it goes a lot more drama than anything.
Is it like the Jack and the Beanstalk movie with Ewan McGregor?
The Bryan Singer film?
In a way. It's basically about a girl who's, I want to say, like 12, 13 years old, somewhere around there. And she's the outcast, gets bullied. And for some unknown reason, she makes up a fantasy world. And I mean a world where she literally does stuff in real life that, in her mind, she's made this game up to where it's all reality. But in other people's minds, they have no idea what's going on, and they're just kind of seeing a sporadic girl that's really, 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 really deep in her imagination.
So it sounds like it's a mix of Inception and Pan's Labyrinth.
Okay, yeah. But I mean, you get to see through her eyes most of the time, at least.
So at the end of the day, what star rating would you give this?
About a 4.5.
That's all you gotta say. Did you check anything else out?
Just the new Wu-Tang American Saga.
I'm really sorry.
Episode.
Let's go ahead and do a social media plug before we continue. You guys can find us on the Facebook at facebook.com/movie REELZ Reels 405, or just search us the Cine-Men Movie Podcast. We pop right up on Facebook. Then you can also find us on the Instagram, one word, Cine-Men Movie Podcast. And then the Twitter is Cine-Men 405. And you guys can also find us on YouTube, the YouTube page, which you can find on the Facebook page. Just click that Learn More button, and it sends you straight to the YouTube page. But everything's on Facebook. You can find all the links to the shows. You can vote. You can see the stories. And then if you want to follow recent watches, you can do so on the Instagram. So let's get back to the show. Zach, what did you check out? You check out anything good?
Yeah, watched Hocus Pocus actually for the first time, so
I can't wait.
We'll talk about that,
Okay.
yeah. I watched The Secret Life of Pets movies, 1 and 2, had never seen them. Rewatched Zombieland, and I got to go check out Zombieland Double Tap.
Mm-hmm.
Totally worth it. I
Really?
think it's a very worthy
Successor.
sequel to the film. There's a character it's in the trailer, Madison the blonde,
Yeah.
the stupid blonde stereotype. I really thought she was going to be annoying all the way through. Man, she stole the movie. I thought she was really freaking good. It was good to see Woody Harrelson, Jesse Eisenberg, Emma Stone, Abigail Breslin. I give it, honestly, probably a 8.5 out of 10.
Oh, wow. That's pretty high.
Yeah.
Speaking of Jesse Eisenberg, that leads into my recent watches as I checked out The Art of Self-Defense.
Yeah.
I saw you added that on Vudu. Is it good?
Super funny.
Is it?
I really enjoyed it. To me, it's in the top 10 of the year. Jesse Eisenberg, man, when he puts on the jets, that dude can go.
Yeah.
He stole the show. I really like that movie. Then I checked out An American Werewolf in London, Ghostbusters 1 and 2, 3 from Hell with Rob Zombie.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't like gore, blood, rape, or
Or a Rob Zombie movie.
Rob Zombie movies, don't check it out. But
went from like a 1 and a 2 to
I
like
like all that
55.
stuff.
Holy.
So, I enjoy all that stuff in my movies. So, I do enjoy some Rob Zombie movies, except for Halloween 2. Other than that, go check it out. And I was able to compare the Fright Night original movie to the remake, if you will. And I thought those were pretty good movies. I did enjoy the Tom Holland original movie a lot more than the remake. Just the remake had some stuff that didn't go along with the original. But if you watched the remake without the original, you'll like it a lot better. I really enjoyed the Toni Collette from Hereditary. She's really fun in that movie. And then, Zach, I finished Midsummer.
What do you think?
Wow. I got a few emails and a few comments on the movie when I was watching it, and they actually want us to talk about it. And it's the last 20 minutes is almost Antichrist-like.
It is. It is.
And
It is.
it is. And I'm really interested in digging more into it. And
Did you get like the visual style of the film, like LSD Trip?
it was beautiful. Like, to me, cinematography wise and directing wise, Ari Aster, this blows Hereditary out of the water for me. I really enjoyed it. So I think this is probably going to be
a future episode.
Yeah. We could even do it's Christmas like almost. We could do a Christmas bonus episode about it. But yeah, I really enjoy it, and I can't wait to dig into it. And then I checked out a lot this week. Crawl.
Did you like it?
I enjoyed it.
Good.
It wasn't like stupid. It wasn't like overgrown alligators attacking the city.
Right.
There were some stupid over-the-top moments, just one or two.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I expect that. It's fun. So I didn't judge it on that. But I highly recommend it for anybody who likes The Shallows, Deep Blue Sea, movies like that. you'll enjoy this.
What about Eight-Legged Freaks? How did you enjoy that one way back when?
It sucked.
Yeah.
I didn't like it.
That's why.
I don't remember most of it, but like that's the one with David Arquette, right?
Yeah, pretty much you just described it. Extremely huge and attacking a city. So.
Well, I mean the alligators or whatever, they're not like mutant or anything.
Yeah, they're not mutant.
They're just large alligators.
But I enjoy Arachnophobia with John Goodman.
I mean, Steve would have enjoyed Crawl then probably. Yeah.
Steve.
Yeah. Irwin.
Steve Irwin.
Yeah.
Well, that's it for today's episode, ladies and gentlemen.
No, man. Like I was actually, randomly, I watched an old Jay Leno episode where he was on there.
Yeah. Wait a minute.
Those are good days.
Wait a minute, Zach. Have you checked out El Camino?
No, I'm not. I'm still watching Breaking Bad, dude.
Okay, now on Netflix, if you watch El Camino, the first 20 minutes is a Breaking Bad redo.
Review. Oh, really?
It just goes, it touches on every single thing, and then it leads you right to the movie.
This is gonna be the new bit every single episode. Have you watched El Camino? No.
So
then I have a new rant for the day.
Uh-oh.
Speaking of DC, did you guys see the new who's gonna be the Riddler?
Yeah, I did see this. Paul Dano.
Yeah.
Yeah. That'd be cool.
How excited is that gonna be?
Yeah, that'd be cool. I think that's a good casting choice.
And then you have Lenny Kravitz's daughter as Catwoman, who I didn't know this, but she was meant to be Catwoman during The Dark Knight Rises, but got turned away for Anne Hathaway.
Okay.
So
it's kind of revenge almost.
Yeah. And then Anne Hathaway sent out a tweet saying, "Welcome to the club." So the more and more this Batman movie gets put together, I think it's gonna be pretty dark. I have a feeling about it.
Apparently, they've actually had test fits for the suit, and on top of that, Robert Pattinson's physique has been photographed a few different times by either paparazzi or freelance or something like one of the two.
One of the two.
So, yeah. But, yeah.
I'm excited. I think going into next week's episode is Halloween 2.
Yep.
So, not the Rob Zombie one.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You guys check anything else out?
I have not, no.
No.
Alright, so, talking about Hocus Pocus today, Zach had, one of y'all two, I don't know who it was, but the great idea of naming the top 5 this week, our top 5 kids' Halloween movies.
Before we get into that, by the time this probably gets...
This drops Monday night.
Drops later tonight. I'm sure everyone knows that tonight during the Patriots game, the final trailer for Star Wars, The Rise of Skywalker, comes out. We obviously will be talking about it next week, and shortly thereafter, the tickets for the film go on sale. So, kind of.
Wait, did Zach just do a Monday Night Football plug?
I did. Look at me.
Whoa.
So I didn't know that tonight during the Patriots game, Jets Patriots at halftime is going to be the Star Wars.
The trailer will drop, and then the tickets will go on sale.
When the tickets go on sale.
Shortly thereafter.
Later tonight, then.
Yeah. So just a little football plug and Star Wars plug. But yeah, I had the idea for this top five Halloween family films.
So at this point, let's go ahead and get into this week's top 5. All right, guys. Like Zach said, this isn't going to be just a top 5 kids Halloween movies. This is going to be like family oriented or maybe comedy Halloween movies, if you will, because it's not all about gutting and hanging teenagers.
Well, it is for me, but I mean.
Oh, okay.
No.
That's Zach at. No, I'm just messing with you. I'll go first. I have some honorable mentions. I'm going to go ahead and say The Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown, Paranorman, and Casper and the Casper with Christina Ricci.
Yeah.
As my honorable mentions. Zach, you want to go next?
I don't have any honorable mentions this time. I failed on the job.
Ed, do you have any honorable mentions, or are you going to get in?
Yeah, I do. Okay, so you've got Scooby-Doo, the original, the one with like Freddie Prinze Jr. and the live.
Oh, that one.
2001, 2002.
Yeah. I thought that. What? For real? You don't like it? You didn't like it at all? No?
No.
That look, that does look like, how dare you bring that movie up?
I thought it was awesome. It was hilarious.
Don't get me wrong, I own it.
You must love Monsters Unleashed.
I do. Now, the first one is kind of funny, but the second one is stupid.
I mean, the second one was kind of out there and over the top, but so I'll give you that. But
is that your only honorable mention?
No. Halloween Town 2. I gotta throw that one out there. Ernest Scared Stupid. Oh my god!
I think my mother-in-law's in that movie.
Moving on.
Anyway.
I'm gonna introduce a newer one, but House with a Clock in Its Walls.
I actually heard that was pretty good.
I did. I liked it.
It's an Eli Roth movie
with Jack Black.
Yeah.
So
it's on Vudu.
Yeah. I mean, the kid is a little awkward at first, but once he warms up, it's pretty cool.
Kate Blanchett, isn't she in that too?
Oh yes.
Mm-hmm.
And those are my honorable mentions.
I'll go ahead and get into my number 5 right quick. Then my number 5 is going to be The Nightmare Before Christmas. I think you should be. That's one of those movies that whether it's Halloween or Christmas is a great watch. And a little note that. Well, we'll talk about it later, but it goes into my Hocus Pocus rant. But yeah, that's my number 5 is Nightmare Before Christmas. Zach, what do you got at number 5?
So I'm actually going to get your guys' opinion about this one. Number 5 for me is not really... It's not really a Halloween movie really at all. It's more of a fantasy film, but it has like supernatural elements to it, so I kind of categorize that in there. Came out in 2016.
Is it the female Ghostbusters movie?
Yes. 2016's Kubo and the Two Strings.
Oh, I like Kubo. That's a good movie.
Yeah, it's not really Halloween. Like I said, it's fantasy.
It's kind of spooky.
Yeah, it has horror elements to it.
I almost put Coco in mine, so you're okay.
Yeah. So, great voice cast. Charlize Theron, Matthew McConaughey, Ralph Fiennes. I kind of think that should have won Best Animated Feature. It's so super
What
well
won it
done.
that year?
Zootopia.
Yeah, I didn't enjoy Zootopia. It was the first time watch was funny, but Zootopia the third time, no.
Yeah.
Was it because of the sloth? I'm just.
What's your number 5, Ed?
My number 5, I'm going to go with an oldish one from 2000, The Little Vampire.
Oh, nice.
Love that. A lot of these are Disney. I'm going to say that right off the bat. Like 4 out of 5, or maybe all 5 are Disney. Little Vampire, always loved that. If I'm not mistaken, Jonathan Lipnicki.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure.
Mm-hmm.
He had a run with that. What was it? Stuart Little.
Stuart Little and Like Mike.
Yeah, Like Mike.
And then he just fell off the earth.
Kinda, yeah, a little weird, but I mean, hey, if he made a little bit, he made a little bit.
Yeah.
Dipped, I get that. But
I mean, he shared the screen with Tom Cruise and Jerry Maguire.
And Little Romeo, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I mean, a couple names in there. So yeah. And to remember his name, almost 20 years later. God, it's been 20 years since that. Wow. Okay. Yeah, folks, it's been 20 years since The Little Vampire came out. Just throwing that
When
out
did
there.
that come out?
2000.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that's why I was just like, it's almost been 20 years.
I'm pretty sure I still own the VHS copy of that.
Oh my god.
That's not the one with John C. Reilly, is it? That's the vampire's assistant, right?
That's
Actually, that's not too bad. I don't mind that one.
Is that your number 1, Johnny?
You bastard.
Oh my gosh, we already killed it for him.
No, my number 4 is going to be The Addams Family from 1991.
Yeah.
Man, it's one of those movies. People are criticizing the new ones for being too dark and twisted, saying that there's like demon-like voices in the cartoon animated film. But I'm like, if that's bad, you guys should have went back and seen the one from 1991. I'm not going to spend too much time on it because it might be an episode. So number 4 for me is The Addams Family. Zach, what do you got at number 4?
Let me check. Number 4 is the first one. Well, I probably enjoyed the second one better, but the first one kind of just started the trilogy. Number 4, can you believe it? Hotel Transylvania with the Sandman.
All right.
I enjoy those films. I just think it's kind of cool to have the all the different monsters that's kind of been created over the years in one setting, and then you have the voices of Adam Sandberg and
Adam Sandler.
No, Adam Sandler, but
Adam Sandberg.
Oh yeah,
Adam Sandberg, yeah.
Okay.
Kevin James and David Spade and all them.
Yeah.
Did you see that number 4 is? I think they're going to be it's like a Christmas movie.
Yeah, the next one's a Christmas movie. So, but it's cool. I mean, I enjoy those films. I think the third one was a kind of.
That's the vacation boat,
Yeah.
right? Okay.
The vacation one was kind of, but I enjoy the first two really good. What's your number 4, Ed?
Number 4, I'm gonna put an old favorite, and I mean I've loved this one for a long time, and it should be from 1997, and it's called Under Wraps. Oh my gosh, this one, it was hard for me to actually remember the name and all that of the movie, let alone anything of the cast and all that good stuff, but. I don't know. It's always just held on really well for me, and I mean, it is cheesy. It's kind of a little outdated, but personally, I've always just loved it since I was a kid, and I was like 6 when this thing came out, so I've always thought it was really, really cool. So that's my number 4.
My number 3 would be Coraline from 2009, with Dakota Fanning leading that voiceover cast. I had a hard time picking between this one, Monster House, and 9. I don't know if you guys have seen 9, but
a lot of Tim Burton animation.
Yeah, but Coraline took it away from me. Again, I don't know if that's really a Halloween movie, but it's creepy. And the scenes where the parents have the buttons for eyes and stuff, and it's kind of creepy. I'm surprised with the dark imagery that it only got a PG rating.
Yeah.
Almost feels like it could have been PG-13 like.
I think they could have gotten away with the PG-13, yeah.
But yeah, that's my number 3. So Zach, what do you got at number 3?
Number 3, Ed, you mentioned in your honorable mentions. I don't care. I don't give a damn. Just because it's one of my favorite growing up. Ernest Scared Stupid. I just think that one. What? Go ahead, say it.
Now that is the one that's most memorable to me.
Yeah.
Out of all the ones, goes to jail, Ernest gets a job, stuff like that. But this one is the most memorable to me because of that ugly troll.
Yeah.
So, I'll give you that one.
Booger lips.
It's just so stupid that it's funny.
Yeah.
That's all it is. It's just
It's just Jim
over
Varney
the top.
playing Ernest is just hysterical. Number 1, anyway. But I mean, like that one in particular is just. Yeah, that's just almost like symbolizes my childhood almost in a weird way.
You know what was funny was those movies used to come on network television all the time.
Yeah.
It didn't matter if it was like Christmas time, and then around this time, of course, it would be, Ernest Scared Stupid.
Yeah.
But this is the only one I truly remember because of the troll.
Yeah.
But how many was there? Was there like 4 or 5?
There was a lot, yeah. Even after his death. I think they even released a few.
With somebody else?
No, with him. They just never were released.
It almost feels like him and Pee-wee were competing here and there. You know what I mean? Because they were both really stupid humor and just
But I mean, Ernest Scared Stupid. That's just one of my favorite childhood scary films. But yeah.
Ed, what do you got at number 3?
Am I at 3?
Yep.
Yeah, number 3. Number 3, I'm going to go with what is it? The Casper from '95. Pretty sure it had the Christina Ricci one. Because I know there was a Lizzie McGuire.
Don't you dare say Leslie. It was Casper Meets Wendy.
Yeah.
Starring the girl from
Hilary Duff.
That's
what it was. But I was got to say, this one just stood out a little bit more to me in the Casper, I don't know what you call that, franchise, or, because that technically was a reboot, but I mean, still, either way, it kind of just stood out for me a little bit more. Just liked it a lot more, that's all it really is, truthfully. So, yeah, number 3 is Casper from 1995, for me. What's your number 2?
Number 2 for me is going to be, I don't know, a lot of people consider this a dark Christmas movie, but I'm going to go ahead and say Gremlins from 1984 is my number 2. Obviously, you know the story. The boy gets this little weird thing, and you're not supposed to feed it at night. You're not supposed to give it any water. Nothing after midnight. Um, what about you, Zach? Would you call Gremlins almost like a Christmas movie?
Yeah, just because of the subject matter, it is kind of Christmas. But I mean, you could categorize it as Halloween because you can go to the Walmart right now and at the Halloween section they have it for $5.
I think I paid $10 for the Blu-ray, and then I think the for some reason Gremlins 2 on Blu-ray is like $20. I don't know why. But I mean, written by Christopher Columbus, same guy who did some of the Harry Potter movies and Home Alone. So
Yeah.
I don't know. That's my number 2 is Gremlins. So Zach, what do you got number 2?
Number 2 is actually a Tim Burton film, animated 2012's Frankenweenie. Really enjoyed that film. I was kind of shocked at I saw it in the theater, and then when I rewatched it this past year, I think, I was just kind of surprised at how much I enjoyed it the second time around. The animation's beautiful, the voice cast is good, and I mean, who wouldn't want to bring their favorite dog back to life? I mean, you know.
It's really good. That's one of those movies that I watch every year around this time.
I'm surprised it kind of lost in the polls because
And
we had it up for a episode.
Yeah. No, nobody voted against. Nobody voted. I think there was like 1 or 2 votes for it, and it ages well, and it's not very long.
No.
Movies like those don't need to be more than like an hour and 20 minutes, maybe an hour and a half.
Yeah.
But I enjoy something like that. So, Ed, what do you got at number 2?
Number 2 is probably the favorite, other than Hocus Pocus, I'd say the favorite Disney movie for me. Halloween Town, the original, back from '98.
It's a Disney Channel movie, right?
Yeah, the Disney Channel original movie, yes. Kimberly J. Brown, Debbie Reynolds, and Judith Hoag, or Hoag, one of the two, I think Hoag. I always thought it was really cool to actually see the actual, like, you know, you've got zombies and skeletons and witches and warlocks and trolls, all kinds of manner in the entire town. Werewolves, everything, and you know they all have their little ticks and tweaks and all that, little junk ghosts and all that. You know, I've got to say, if you've got a younger kid, I'd say between probably the ages of 5 and even up to 10 years old, and you want to introduce them into a fantasy world, and you're kind of not sure about all the dark imagery and all that good stuff, I think that Halloween Town is definitely an easy go-to for non-animation, for that matter. I just think it's probably one of the easiest ones out there that doesn't have any cursing or anything if you're against that. So, I mean, I definitely would recommend that for anybody, for that matter. And to me, I always love to revisit it because it's always a cool little pick back to when I was a kid. Plus, I mean, I always kind of had a thing for Kimberly J. Brown anyways, so, you know, yeah.
Number 1 for me is going to be, and it's convenient that we're doing this and they wrapped filming this week, is going to be Ghostbusters from 1984. I know this is more kind of like a comedy movie, but when we did number 1 or our top 5 comedies a few weeks ago, or a few months ago, this was in the top 5 for me. And it just proved again, like, I watched it last week. I'm probably going to watch it again before Halloween. This is just one of those movies that every time I see it, it gets funnier and funnier. The jokes are like outlandish, but they're kind of smart jokes. It's not stupid. I was talking to somebody about it. Why do they not make comedies like this more often? Smart, funny comedies that don't have, you know, people's genitalias in it all the time, or people that just, you know, smoking or drinking. You know what I mean? What do you think, Zach?
I think it was just it was in the 80s, you know, with the John Hughes and all them. It's just a an era of comedy that really doesn't exist anymore, because like you said, it's kind of gone into favor of the scary movies and
then when
Seth Rogen and all that.
And then when you do have comedies that come out now, not to mention now, I wasn't the biggest fan of the 2016 Ghostbusters, but again, that was a movie that had some kind of, you know, they were trying to reenact comedy like that,
Right.
and it got crapped on. But to me, that movie is just hilarious. And although the second one isn't as good, I always enjoy watching Ghostbusters around this time of year. That's a movie, honestly, that I can put in front of my kid, and I know that I don't have to worry about pausing, fast forwarding, or telling her to get out of the room. She actually watched it with me, and she enjoyed the Marshmallow Guy. What do you got at number one, Zach?
Number one, you had it in your honorable mentions, Johnny. I watch this every year. It's actually going to be on tomorrow night. It's the Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown. It's a favorite in our household. Like I said, it comes on around this time every time on ABC. It's going to be on tomorrow night, actually.
I think that's the only one I don't have. I know for sure I have the Thanksgiving one, and I know I for sure have the Christmas one.
If you go to a couple of Black Fridays, I think it was last year, the year before, I got the Holiday Peanuts collection, and it has like all three of the main ones, and a couple of like bonus episodes on the discs. But yeah, for me, it's the Great Pumpkin. Charlie Brown is kind of like that for me, like how it is about you with Halloween Town, Ed. That I gotta watch that every year, and now I know it's Halloween. What's your number one, Ed?
Number one, I'm gonna actually have at a two-way tie for that matter. Pretty much, you can't go with a kids Halloween type movie without mentioning Nightmare Before Christmas. It's not possible. I'm sorry. It's really not. You just all the painstaking detail that they went into, and to watch them actually put together the sets and the different characters, and how many heads they had for Jack, how many heads they had for every character for that matter. You've got to appreciate the artistic value of that. So I've got to say that is a 1B. 1A, of course, is the one we are doing today, Hocus Pocus. So stay tuned for all of our thoughts on that. But yeah, I've got to say Nightmare Before Christmas and Hocus Pocus, both are amazing films. Because that was and actually they got released the same year, if I'm not mistaken, 93.
Actually, that gets into today's episode as we talk Hocus Pocus from 1993. It had a 39. No, oh my gosh, that's terrible. It had a $28 million budget and only made $39 million. Effectively, Disney lost $16 million whenever it made and released Hocus Pocus. Had a July 16th. 1993 release, and it's funny that you said that, Ed, because on the actual bonus disc, there's no bonus disc, which gets into my rant, but on the special features, like you said, they both released in the exact same year, but the reason, wouldn't you say the reason a lot of people say that Hocus Pocus didn't make any money is because it came out in the summer?
I would say that, but
came out in July, and they didn't want to put it in October because they didn't want it to do away with Tim Burton's movie.
Yep.
Sounds kind of funny, but no. Yeah, man, it got a 33% on Rotten Tomatoes, and it stands at a 6.8 on IMDb. The VHS released January the 5th, 1994, and the DVD release was June the 4th, 2002. And then your Blu-ray came out September the 2nd, 2012, and then the 25th anniversary edition came out September the 2nd, 2018. So this is its 26th year of being released.
You mean it's not 300 years down to the day?
No, unfortunately
Dang.
not. But it stars the amazing witch cast of Bette Midler, Sarah Jessica Parker, Kathy Nan, Jeannie, Amari Kratz, Vanessa Shaw, which is actually in a horror movie that I watched a few weeks ago, and directed by Kenny Ortega. So we're going to do what we usually do. First time thoughts to recent watch. Ed, what about you? Has it always been one of those fun movies that you watch around this time of year from the get-go?
Yeah, definitely. I've always been into the kind of not the occult at all, but into kind of fantasy stuff,
Yeah.
witches, wizards, dragons.
So
and
the second time around, what did you think? Same feelings?
This time around, actually, and I think it's because I watched I Kill Giants and was annoyed by that, but I was annoyed by Danny a little bit, especially
After watching I Killed Giants, I'd be annoyed by any movie actually after that.
But she just annoyed me because of she kind of, I mean, both of them, growing up in LA, maybe they were both spoiled and all that because their parents were what they were, but she seems like kind of a bratty kid.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Zach, what about you? This
But,
was actually your first time watching it.
It is. It was, yes.
What did what'd you think?
No. Honestly, it was just one when I was growing up. It just never appealed to me. I never really wanted to watch it. I remember my mom actually saying when I told her we were doing this, she said, "Yeah, I tried to get you thousands of times to watch that movie. You never did." It's just, I don't know if it just didn't look good. I guess it just didn't appeal to me. And so when you said, we're gonna do a family Halloween movie, I was like, oh, this is a perfect opportunity to do it. And honestly, it's not that bad. Honestly, I really thought I was gonna be hating this. Like, this is gonna be like the biggest rant episode ever.
So I'm probably going to be the asshole of the conversation.
Because I really thought I was gonna be, honestly.
This is one of those movies where I watched it for the first time when I was young, probably 5 or 6, and it's one of those movies that whether it's the family or now my wife really enjoys this movie, and they actually had a family watch along with the movie on Friday night. Or Saturday nights when I came home, they were all watching on the other TV, and I'm like, oh my god, I can't get away from this movie. And then when I posted it on the poll, again, I can't get away from this fucking movie. Everybody wants to see it. Everybody wants to hear us talk about it. So it's one of those movies that I'm okay with it. I don't know why the following is as big as it is.
Have you been burnt out of it?
It might have been. It might be a thing where I'm burnt out about it, but. I'm burnt out of Nightmare Before Christmas, but for some reason that movie still appeals to me. But I will say that watching it this second time around, I watched it this morning, everybody was gone, had me a cup of coffee, just turned it on and I watched it. And I will say, without any negativity in my mind, that if it wasn't for Kathy Nanjiani, Bette Midler, and Sarah Jessica Parker, this movie would be unwatchable to me. And I'm talking about unwatchable to where it feels like a $100,000 Disney Channel movie. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not going to hate on any of the Disney Channel original movies, like the Lizzie McGuire stuff or any of that stuff.
Buddy, look here now.
But my one small rant of the day is that Disney, this movie didn't make you any money. Okay, I get it. But it makes you $1 million every October. Mm-hmm. The DVD sales for this movie are through the roof. Mm-hmm. Every single October, this movie makes Disney $1 million. That's $1 million they didn't have before, like they needed. So my rant of the day, and then we'll get into the movie, is that you put out the rant of the day is that if this movie can get Disney so much money every single year, and Disney actually celebrates the 25th anniversary, why would you not give it a better 25th anniversary release?
Put some work into it.
Put some work into the release. You didn't have to celebrate it. You can just throw it under the rug and do what you did for it the 10-year anniversary, which was nothing, or the 15 or the 20. They didn't do anything for the 20th anniversary. So you're going to make a big deal and want the money for a 25th anniversary edition, with the nice steelbook that I bought, and, they charged $14.99 for the steelbook. Again, there's nothing on the disc. No special features, no bonus edition, nothing. There's a 4-minute DVD special feature. That's it. And this just got released last year.
Well, I don't understand, if they were going to do, like you said, Johnny, like a 25th anniversary.
Do that a little bit louder, Ed. But no, I'll pass around. That's the 25th anniversary steelbook that they released, and they wanted to charge, I think, an overly price of $15 for it. Now, there's nothing special about it. It's just the exact same Blu-ray copy that they released in 2012.
I mean, the steelbook, if you haven't, I wish we had a camera. It's just basically, it looks like the book from the movie.
It's on the Facebook page. I've already uploaded a picture of it.
Okay. do I think it's the worst? I mean, if you're a fan of the film, yeah, I get it. But I mean, me personally, because I think the movie's okay. I mean, I think it's a nice steelbook.
No, I'm not talking anything about the steelbook. I'm just talking about extra features.
Oh yeah, no, I get it. And like, what I was gonna say was, because it's the 25th anniversary, why wouldn't they just have like a cast reunion or just have like a 30-minute documentary and talk about it? You know.
But I mean, it is what it is, and I think
Disney, I'll send you my resume.
But I mean, the steelbooks they put out now are amazing.
Yeah.
Now they do charge you $30 for it.
Oh yeah.
And all the special features are amazing. But maybe that's why there is no special features, because we're going to charge $15 for it.
Basically, yeah, because there's not really a lot to sell other than the movie itself.
Well, I'm just saying, you're gonna now remember, I'm not a huge fan of this movie. But I do think for your fans that pay a lot of money to keep this movie in remembrance every October, I think you should pay it off with something that give the fans a little bit more to think about.
Right.
Yeah.
But anyway,
that's the rant for the day, and it's only probably because I'm an ass and I buy a lot. Mm-hmm. If I didn't collect these kind of things, I probably wouldn't have ranted about it.
No, I get it.
Ed, what do you think?
Honestly, I mean, every fan's gonna love the case because it looks like the spellbook of the Sanderson sisters, or Winifred Sanders. And on top of that, in the actual on the back of the inside of the case, it has the little spell that they do to
the cat.
Well, the cat spell, and then on top of that, on the right side behind the DVD, they have the little incantation she's saying while they're adding all the ingredients to the cauldron. So I mean, I do think it's pretty cool on that side, but I do agree that it would have been great to get even a reunion of the cast, or even just some behind the scenes, some bloopers and all that good stuff. So
check this out. In my notes today, I saw that every year Family Forum, aka ABC Family, they do this every year on their 13 Nights of Halloween. Mm-hmm. Last year, the movie averaged 8.2 million viewers on Freeform.
So that's why this year they've actually got it 28 times throughout the 31 days of Halloween.
I'm just like, these are NFL Monday Night Football numbers. These kind of numbers don't come up anymore on on cable TV.
Right.
So I mean that shows that there's a big following out there. If 2.8 million viewers are tuning in at the same time on a cable channel, for that matter, that's
which
a lot.
It's also kind of funny that it only made $8 million for the first 2 weeks that it was out. Not a lot of money.
No.
But I mean, let's get into it. The opening scene I think is really kind of
Did you think of the witch when you saw that opening?
I did.
Like the witch from 2016.
Yes.
It was just it was so. Again, this is only my first time seeing it, but that was like the first thing that I thought of.
Well, actually, back when the original trailer dropped, there's a lot of Thor's eye patch stuff. A lot of stuff that was in the trailer that is not in the actual movie.
Well, it also makes you wonder, like back in 1993, do you think with parents seeing that this is a Disney movie, but there's also like witches and stuff involved, do you think maybe that's why it didn't make so much money? Is that parents were kind of, stumbled and really didn't want their kids to go see a witch movie? Maybe kind of how people were with Harry Potter back in the day?
Kind of, possibly, because this is the first movie that they introduced the word virgin in.
Yeah, but that has nothing to do with, like, I'm talking about witches and spells. A lot of people are back with their kids away when it comes to stuff like that, especially in '99 with Harry Potter, and then this being a Disney movie.
Right. I don't necessarily think that. I think it's the big culprit of why it didn't make any money is released in the middle of July. Why? It's a Halloween movie. Why would you do that? I mean, I get you don't want to step on Tim Burton's toes, but I mean, like, you have still to this day, that and Nightmare Before Christmas, probably the top two family scary films.
Very easy.
So I don't think it would have, like,
if this was 2019 and Disney's about to release 2 huge movies in the same month anyway again soon. Why not just gather up all the money during Halloween time? I don't know. I don't understand why.
Let them battle it out.
Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, it doesn't matter. The Disney's getting the royalties anyway, so.
Plus, I mean, don't get me wrong, you know, like you were saying, they both would have gotten both of the profits off of either one. And on top of that, you could have had, you know, back-to-back watch. Go watch Hocus Pocus and then go watch Nightmare Before Christmas one after the other.
It really did get bad reviews though. That like the whole entire time it came out. It's just really astonishing to me how bad of a opening year that this movie had. But like a lot of the movies that we do that are bad, they have cult followings.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And this has a huge cult following.
Well, I mean, that's just like Killer Clowns from Outer Space. And that one you can kind of understand why, but then again, you've got to appreciate the prop value, like we said back in that.
Well, even with this one, with the practical effects in this one.
Yeah.
But looking at this one, this one had a huge budget, and it didn't even come close to making its money back.
Well,
I do enjoy at the beginning of the movie, you see Max's room when he gets his shoes taken away from him. I want to talk about the goons there. Zach, this was your first time seeing the movie.
Oh, man.
What did you think of Ice and the goons?
Jay and Ice.
I will say that the comedy in this movie is, again, something that you can just laugh at, and you don't have to worry about hiding your kids' eyes.
No.
Because, I mean, I think the worst they get is saying the word hell like 4 or 5 times.
But I mean, this is your first view of it. I mean, give me some of your scoop on it. And, you know, even if it's bad, you can't shit on it any worse than I have than saying it's unwatchable without the 3 actresses.
That's true.
Right. Okay, look. Do I think that this is a good movie? Probably not. No, I'd probably say it's probably not a good movie. Do I think it's an enjoyable movie? Yeah. I mean, I understand why this movie has the following that it has. But this movie is like filled with like 90s stereotypes. Like you were talking about the goons, the hipster, I call them the 90s hipsters. It was just like so like on the nose.
It's almost one of those movies like you could say The Wedding Singer, how it wasn't made in the 80s, but they make it so obvious that they're in the 80s.
Yeah, I mean, one of the guys has ice shaved in the back of his head.
Like, this movie is from 93, but they really let you know that, hey, we're doing 1993 stuff.
Right.
Which is weird to me.
And they don't, I mean, I understand if you were doing that in 99, but in the same year that it's made?
Well, I mean, what I find funny is that, and what a lot of people, well, there's a lot of people out there that understand this, but the witch trials ended in 1692, not 1693.
So if this had been released in 92...
A year after, a full year plus like 2 or 3 months after the witch trials actually truly were like ceased.
Right.
You know, but I mean,
at least they were able to film on location, in Massachusetts, which I'll give them props for that, because the scenery, the cinematography was good, and I do like the way, like, when they shot the movie, it did feel like a fall movie.
And it looked like Massachusetts.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of stuff they put into it, just like, you know, the Friends statue that's in the credit or in the beginning opening song and all that, the theme song. It's actually in this movie.
Oh.
It's in Hocus Pocus when they're all like celebrating because they thought they killed the Sanderson sisters after the school. It's there when, if I'm not mistaken, Danny and Allison are dancing around. And Binks is talking to Max.
Max, yeah.
Yeah, you can see the statue with the fountain in it, all that. It's kind of funny on that. Little stuff like that it's just weird.
Well, and, you know, one of the other things for me was as Allison, the girl,
blonde?
Yes. Yeah, blonde, yeah. I think Allison was kind of like the typical. Friends wasn't on the air yet, which I kind of find interesting. This came out in 93. Yeah. Friends hit was 94.
Oh. Okay. Yeah, I didn't get that reference either, because like if they filmed on location in Massachusetts, did that statue get moved to New York? Because the Friends was based off of New York, right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
Then that's just, or did they go to Massachusetts and shoot the opening for Friends?
Did. Yeah.
Probably cheaper, because I think you do get charged an arm and a leg to produce in New York.
Exactly. But I mean, like, really what I was trying to say was, like, Allison's look was kind of, like, very, like, 90s. What girls look like, you know, the blonde hair, the kind of bad boy attitude, like the bad boy's attitude, and then the low-cut top and everything. It's just like...
The movie that I was watching that Allison was in, the actress, Vanessa Shaw was Eyes Wide Shut with Tom Cruise, the last Stanley Kubrick movie.
Yeah.
She plays the hooker in that movie.
Hmm.
So that's where I know that face from.
Not because of Hocus Pocus, but because of Eyes Wide Shut.
But I mean, the cast was pretty. I mean, other than the three witches, which I bet that's where all the money came from.
Probably.
Because you have Sarah Jessica Parker coming off of a pretty astounding career, and then Kathy Nanjiani was in Sister Act 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Not to mention Bette Midler in the 80s
Yeah.
was
On
the
fire.
best. Yeah.
And then Sarah Jessica Parker, I think a year or two later, Sex and the City started.
Yeah.
So it was before even that.
Well, I mean, you've got to think they almost cast Max was supposed to go to Leonardo DiCaprio. He actually turned it down for What's Eating Gilbert Grape.
Great choice.
And got his first Oscar nomination. So, I mean, but I mean, like, I could see young Leo doing. I mean, probably granted, looking back now, he's like, thank God I didn't do it. I don't know. I mean, I could see him doing that.
I don't know.
But
A part of
like,
me would, but a part of me wouldn't, just because
how Leo's so selective.
Yeah, I mean, he's got a huge following anyway, so it doesn't really matter and it wouldn't.
But
matter,
I mean, this would boost his numbers like
just a bit,
time.
yeah, because he'd be part of a family. Halloween
But at the
cult
time though, when the
classic.
movie first came out,
no one really knew who Leo was though.
Yeah, and nobody probably still would have not known who he was if he did this movie because,
I mean,
the year after the movie came out, it still wasn't that big of a success.
No.
But Ed, well, let's talk about you. You said you enjoy this movie. You probably enjoy it a lot more than we do. What are some of your, what does make you enjoy this movie to where you could watch it? I mean, do you watch something like this every year, or?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's just kind of one of those things where it's cheesy. It's, I've got to say, all the actual effects are what make it kind of cool. And I mean, don't get me wrong, are they high budget? Probably not. But
No,
I mean,
it was a high budget film for its time.
I'm just meaning like the effects. Like it's not like CGI and all that stuff.
Oh no, I mean
no. Other than the cat.
Yeah, the cat. But the explosion at the top of their house when the witches went and got their book, that's the whole explosion.
Real.
Yeah. So.
But I mean, that's what I'm saying. The practical effects, is kind of what makes it for me at least. It's kind of cool just to see the little, when she actually throws the spells at him with the lightning from her fingers and all that good stuff. The comedic attachments she even does, when she goes ahead and pushes him because it reminds me a lot of the Force when she does that.
Oh, the lightning strikes.
The lightning force.
What did you guys think of Billy Butcher?
Or William Butcherson. Man. Actually, what's funny, those moths were real.
Billy, yeah.
Those moths were real. They actually had a moth trainer.
No, I'm talking about like I don't want. You're talking about moths coming out the dude's mouth.
I mean, well, I'm just saying it's funny because
we're talking about the zombie guy, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
The actor had to do some stuff like that, and that just shows committed to the role.
Who played him? Was it Doug Jones?
Yes.
Okay, he's like in a lot of Del Toro stuff, like as the creatures and different stuff like that.
Yeah.
So that makes sense.
Yeah.
No, man.
Actually, he's all of them, which is kind of crazy. I didn't know that. He's the actual amphibian man in
Shape of Water.
He's the pale man in Pan's Labyrinth.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's the sapien in Hellboy 1 and 2.
Yep.
Well, what did you know for? How'd you know that? It's pretty good.
Nerd. No. Dude, I just know. Because when I saw his name in the credits, I was like, I know that has to be him, because I don't know another role he would play, because that's always his, go-to performance.
Maybe it's because his skeleton structure can fit inside of a lot of the stuff like that so easily.
He's actually very tall and skinny.
So he's the one who fucked a deaf lady. Won an Oscar for it.
There you go. No, man, that... But like you said, Ed, the practical effects in the film really, I mean, they are what they are, but when the first time...
They're not bad.
No, they're not bad at all. But the first time I saw that CGI cat, I was like, oh, boy. But, it's 93, and I think Jurassic Park came out that summer. So, it's kind of weird.
That's also that's also another reason why it probably didn't make a lot of money.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like Danny actually still has Thora Birch actually still is going on. She's actually in Kindred Spirits Above Suspicion.
What is that?
Kindred Spirits is basically a movie that's about to come out October 24th, so here in 2 days. And pretty much it just seems like it's a movie about, if I'm not mistaken, either witches and ghosts or ghosts itself, one of the two. But she's actually been in The Walking Dead a couple of episodes, I guess, this past season. So I mean, you know, she's still getting a decent bit of work for that matter.
Speaking of the biggest, so let's talk about the biggest star of the movie, if you guys want. And we'll start with you, Bette Midler.
Yeah.
Somebody who's done movies like Oliver and Company, Big Business, Beaches. I think was her biggest film in the '80s was Beaches. Stella. And then she does Hocus Pocus in '93. Not only can she sing, not only can she dance, not only can she act. I think she's a tremendous actor. Like, do you think that role could have been anybody else? Every time I look at her now, she is Winifred from Hocus Pocus.
Yes, it could have been anybody else's, but what she brought to that role, nobody else can duplicate. I mean, that's simple, plain and put. You know, it could have been anybody else's at the time. I mean, Jennifer Aniston could have landed it, but don't get me wrong, she wouldn't have done as good as Bette Midler did for that role. And I've actually heard her say that that's one role that she actually lines up there as her favorite of all time that she's ever done.
She reprised the role as she did. I think they did the Hocus Pocus on Broadway.
Mm-hmm.
Zach, what do you think about Bette Midler and kind of the work she's done in movies like Beaches and I don't know if you've seen any of her other movies like First Wives Club or stuff like that.
I mean, she's fine. I mean, I know that's probably her, like you said, her most iconic role. I mean, when you said Oliver and Company, I totally forgot that she was even in that. And that, I mean, I probably recognize her more from that than Hocus Pocus just because I've seen Oliver and Company multiple times. But I understand that.
Her biggest role was Beaches.
Well, I mean, like, in our generation,
right.
we probably know her more from Hocus Pocus.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like, she's good in the role. I think out of all three of them, I think she was the best by far.
Yeah.
I had in my notes because the first thing that came to my mind was like Three Stooges of the Witches.
Yeah, she was mean to all of them. She was
Mo, and Sarah Jessica Parker was Curly, and the other one was Larry.
Well, that's actually a really good connection right there, I think.
Going into some of the scenes, what did you guys think? The scene where they're really like nasty and grimy looking, and then they get beautiful. That switch into that kind of look, and then the hanging. Were you guys surprised to see a hanging in a Disney movie all these years later? Like when you're young, you don't think about it, but now there's a hanging in a Disney movie.
A little bit, yeah, especially just because now Disney tries to toe the line on a lot of different stuff, and most of the time they keep a couple feet back too. But I mean, when you're signed to a Disney contract, it's either this or buy. We'll get somebody else. You're either fine or we can get somebody else. To the point where a lot of ex-Disney cast members have just a lot of them has had like crazy happenings, even years later. But I literally think some of these just, I don't know, should get a little bit better of a reception from the Disney higher ups or whatever.
What do you mean, like the movie?
Yeah, I mean, like, it's just been not dawning on me, but in the back of my head, like what you were saying, as in, put effort or put some value into it if you're going to keep releasing a few little things, or just sweep it under the rug and don't care about it.
What do you think, Zach?
Like,
The movie in general, like, some of the scenes. Do you think that this movie, you
Oh, do I think it treads the line? No. I mean, probably for early 90s Disney, maybe. But I mean, like, you were talking about the hanging scene. Like, we had a about 10 years later, we had a hanging scene with the third or second Pirates of the Caribbean film. And that one was probably a little bit more, I don't want to say graphic, but a little bit more
well, Hocus
grimy.
Pocus is PG,
Right.
so
And Pirates is PG-13,
yeah.
right. But I mean, like you said, Disney's always treaded the line of like, oh, we're going to go there, but we're not fully going to go there.
So Hocus Pocus was allowed in your household then, right?
Yeah.
So, like, waiting all these years later, are you kind of glad that, if you watched it then, maybe you would feel different about it now, or are you just...
Yeah, absolutely, because there are films, as a kid, like I said, in our top 5, Ernest Scared Stupid, probably a terrible film, but since I watched it as a kid, I love it.
So, movies like that, would you dare leave it in the back of your mind, or would you ever attempt to go out and buy it and rewatch it at home now?
I would go back, not Hocus Pocus, but like things that I've watched as a kid, I'd go out and buy.
I've done stuff like that before, and
then you're like,
it ruined it for me. Like, I never wanted to watch it again.
I don't know. They're just, I mean, and there are probably films like, and I'm not.
Well, let's ask Ed right now. Like you said, Halloween Town 2.
Yeah.
That's a Disney Channel original movie.
Yeah.
When, honestly, was the last time you watched it?
Halloween Town 2 was probably 2 or 3 years ago. But, I mean, like, where they cut off right there for me is probably between 2 and 3. Or, no, 3 and 4.
No,
I'm sorry.
we're talking about the original one. Like,
yeah.
The last time you watched it was like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Would you ever, have you purchased it?
I haven't. Just, honestly, the first time I've seen it in actuality out in, I guess you could call
was that
Wild, was just, a week ago when me and you went.
2 years ago? Was that the first time you watched it since you were a kid?
No.
No?
I've watched 1, 2, and 3 many times.
There was a third one?
Actually, there's a fourth one, because there's 1, 2, Calabar's Revenge, 3, Return to Halloween Town, and then 4 is Halloween Town High.
Was all of them shown on the Disney Channel?
I definitely know the first 2 were. I think the last
or like direct
one
to
was
DVD?
direct to DVD, and I think the third one was, but not.
Something none of us mentioned in any of the honorable mentions or any of the top 5 was any Goosebump episodes.
That was going to be my number 5. I just forgot about it.
I was going to mention Goosebumps, The Haunted Mask, Part 1 and 2.
Werewolf Swamp is the best to me.
The one where that little girl gets the mask and it completely, like, turns her, like, yeah, it kind of was, kind of cheesy looking back at it.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know what came first, that or the Mask movie with Jim Carrey.
Mm-hmm.
But looking at the opening, because unfortunately I got my Netflix back. I turned it on for El Camino, so I checked out a few of the episodes, including those ones, and I'm like, I wonder if anybody's gonna have that in their honorable mention.
If
I kind of thought about it, don't get me wrong, but I just
I kind of thought you two would at least have it.
I did think about them, though. Because, I mean, you've got the 2 new Goosebumps, which I thought the first one was a bit better than the second, but...
Yeah.
One of the main reasons why I didn't like Hocus Pocus, and we'll get back to the Hocus Pocus, is I just didn't like the undercast, looking back at it all these years later. When I was like 5, 6, it didn't matter to me. I loved it, but not knowing what I know now, did the undercast... you said Danny bothered you. But did any of the other undercast bother you? Any of you guys? Zach, we'll start with you. Obviously, I'm hoping that the 3 witches were the best part for you.
No, they were terrible. No. Yeah, they were definitely the best part. It didn't bother me, honestly. The 3, probably, if anything, probably the voice of the cat kind of got under my skin a little bit. It just kind of like, guys, we gotta go. So like, oh, come on. I understand it's the 90s, it's Disney, that's fine. But, like you said, the little girl, Danny, kind of annoyed you this time.
A little bit, and I mean, it was the same with the mother and father because they're so oblivious.
Ugh,
but I mean, don't get me wrong, a lot of Disney movies do show that parents don't know what the heck's going on with the kids.
Yeah, that's true.
The kids are the heroes.
That was really like 90s Disney too. Like the parents are in it,
early 2000s.
But we're gonna make them look stupid. Like Honey, I Blew Up the Kid or Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. Those parents always made them look stupid.
Or even the one for Under Wraps. I mean, the mother was
even though what?
Under Wraps.
Is
the
that a movie? Okay.
Yeah. It was my number 4.
I didn't
actually.
hear you. I was like, what is that?
But yeah, Under Wraps. Well, it was the Disney movie about the kid that befriends a mummy. Yeah.
Who's in it?
Oh God,
It's not a Ben Savage movie, is it?
Let me look.
I don't think so.
I
I was
can
about
pull
to
it
say
up.
I would have to pull it up.
I'm thinking of the Howie Mandel movie.
Because it's
I can pull it up right here. Adam Wiley.
Never mind then. Completely, yeah.
Oh my God. That one?
Yes, Under Wraps.
I've seen the poster for that. Okay, yeah, I've seen the poster for that.
That was a Disney film?
Yeah, way back in '97, man.
Channel 38 on Fox.
Yeah. But I mean, the parents. So I kind of get that one, but Danny, I don't know. Going up to obviously like 7 different guys in a completely different state that you have no freaking idea across the country for that, like at least a fifth across the world. And then you're challenging all of them and being like, oh, well, I've got my big brother. Ha ha ha. He'll totally come over here and kick your butt. Like, this dude's about to get rocked hardcore. And all that. And, he just comes over, gives him back candy, says, we're out. But I don't know. And then, to go up to when Allison is introduced at the party, at least, when that Danny and Allison get introduced to each other, and she goes, "Oh, I couldn't fit that dress because I don't have, what do you call them, Max? Yabos? He loves your yabos, or he likes your yabos. In fact, he loves them."
All right, now that you brought
It was
that
just
up,
like,
now that you brought that
really?
up, speaking of yabos, are you? I'm going to talk to both of you guys.
Yeah.
You both are male. Are you surprised with the cleavage that Sarah Jessica Parker got away with in this Disney movie?
That's what I was saying. Even with, I was talking more about Vanessa Shaw, but it's the same with just Sarah Jessica Parker.
Because when she is on the broomstick and she's luring the kids closer to the end of the movie, I'm just like, this is a Disney movie and it's not rated PG-13?
I mean, yeah, it might have been because she kept taking out the Time magazine to read it between shots or something like that.
I don't know,
but I mean,
another one of the bad reviews that I read about it was somebody got upset with the broom, not the broom, but the vacuum that Kathy rode. They're like, why is that in an old house?
Okay, so
and I'm like, because it was a museum. They had to clean the museum.
Right.
The main reason, and I've heard this theory before, is that supposedly that sister was inventing, because apparently a vacuum was invented back in like 1860 or something like that, a manual one. But apparently you're supposed to have a connection and understand what this thing is. And they're like, how would she know it's something that cleans? Okay, it was just in the closet. She found it. She said, all right, forget it. Let's go.
Yeah, she doesn't know. She doesn't even know that it's supposed to clean.
It wasn't really, you know what I mean? To where, and I do get this one, though, because it's the same with Winifred Sanders.
That's why it was in there, though, because they had to clean the museum.
Well, no. I mean, with Winifred Sanders, as she was riding along and Max was driving, where's your learner's permit or whatever?
No, yeah.
She wouldn't have known what the hell that was because she barely knew what a bus was, or didn't really know what a bus was. Barely knew what a blacktop road was because at first they
thought it was like a river,
black river of death or something, and then they shoved Sarah out, and she's like, oh, it's a road, So they don't know a lot of different things from the 21st century, but I mean, still, it was just kind of like there's a few things, but I mean, it's not supposed to be nitpicked by adults. It's supposed to be enjoyed.
Oh, but it
kids.
got nitpicked by adults. It got,
yes, because
it got
everybody's
reviewed.
A critic.
Yes.
Well, it's interesting.
Must be nice.
I was looking at the
They get paid for it too.
Oh yeah.
Must be nice.
Yeah.
We're getting there, guys. We're getting there. I was looking at the supporting cast. Other than the 3 main actresses, and I'm specifically talking about Vanessa Shaw. You were talking about Johnny. She was in Eyes Wide Shut, and I absolutely do not remember this at all. Her other known for films are The Hills Have Eyes remake and 3:10 to Yuma with Russell Crowe and Christian Bale. And she was also in an episode of House, which I don't remember that at all.
She's also in Side Effects.
Yeah. And Big Miracle and a whole bunch of other stuff that I don't remember her in at all.
What did you guys think of this scene with the where you actually get to see Bette Midler finally do her thing and sing and dance and at the parents' party? Zach, what did you think of that scene? You're kind of quiet over there.
I figured because she's a singer, I figured we would at least have some musical number.
Hello, Salem. My name's Winifred. What's yours?
So this was your absolutely
Very
first time.
I've never ever.
What day did you watch it? Was it over the weekend?
I watched it Friday and then I fell asleep. I got through the first hour of it at least, and then I finished it Saturday.
So what like the scene with the parents and her singing? What did you think of that scene?
That's fine. It's so hard to talk about a film that first I know has like I should already have seen like 800 times by now.
Yeah, but go ahead. I mean,
there's a film that you've seen probably many, many, many times for years that I've probably never checked out personally. So it doesn't really make you a bad person or anything like that. It just means
no. Let me tell you something.
things.
When I told a couple people at my job saying we were doing this film, and I said I've never seen it, they looked at me like I had just murdered a child. I mean, it is ridiculous.
I mean, the things happen. Sometimes you just get interested. It's just like my wife has never seen Star Wars, not one.
What?
Exactly. She's never seen the Star Wars movie. So, I mean, things happen.
But
she has never seen 99% of the Avengers movies or any of the included MCU. I mean, she's seen Captain America, the first Avenger, and hated it. And from there, she said, I'm not into it. Forget this. I'm not into the MCU. And, yeah, so far, I think she's
Johnny
seen
is over there about to have a rage stroke.
Spider-Man Far From Home and Spider-Man Homecoming, and I think that's it. So, yeah.
But, like I said at the outset of this, it's, the movie's fine. I really thought I was not going to like this. I thought I would be coming on this show and be like, oh my god, this is the worst movie ever. It really isn't. It's a product of its time, which I'd assume so. It has some good performances here and there, and if anything, the CGI cat is atrocious, but
Actually,
that's my only...
that was an animatronic and a faux cat. It was just updated in the Blu-ray.
well, and the special features that they released.
Was it like the cat from the Sabrina TV series?
Kind of.
Yeah.
They used a real cat.
Yeah.
The head
Well, I mean, no.
The head
There's a
was
real
just-
cat, but I mean, like when it had to talk, it was
the head-
obviously animatronic.
Well, the head was CGI'd.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Which, yeah, it's one of those things, unfortunately. Ed, if you had to pick a favorite scene in the movie, which one would you pick? If you had to pick something.
It's kind of hard, but I mean, honestly, and you're gonna hate me for this one, Zach. I would probably say between the Sanderson sisters meeting the parent party, or whatever you want to call that, town hall party. I don't know. And I don't know. Probably Halloween Town Hell High or something like that. I forget what Max actually calls it, but Halloween Town High or something like that. But the school scene where they burn them in the ceramics cooker.
Oh yeah.
I thought that was pretty cool. Just the green smoke and all that comes out of the chimney. But those are probably my two favorites.
What about you, Johnny?
First off, when they first did when they went to the adult party and the guy dressed up as a skeleton was singing, did anybody else think he looked like Michael Keaton? Or did that go through anybody else's mind?
No.
I was like, this son bitch looks like Michael Keaton.
I mean, a little bit, but not much. It was kind of just, yeah.
It wasn't like totally obvious, if that's what you mean.
No. If I had to pick some favorite scenes from this movie, I would probably pick the Bette Midler singing scene.
Yeah.
That's probably the highlight of the movie. I thought it was pretty funny when Max held up the lighter and said the burning rain of death.
Yeah.
I thought that was kind of funny seeing them, kind of act that out. Man, and then when you first get introduced to the goons, I think those two are funny. For some reason, I don't know why. Like,
No.
I thought I was gonna hate him this watch around, but I thought they were pretty funny.
Well, I mean, when they come up, knock knock, boo.
Yeah.
You know, or
And then when they were making
Yeah.
fun of him about being a little leaguer, yeah, I thought that was pretty funny.
I thought the one was a little bit too J. You know what I mean? Because that's too much of a stoner slash.
Well, see, if you ask me,
skate, you
I
know?
thought those two would like. They seem like they're more from L.A. than Max did.
Yeah, it honestly, yeah, you could have reversed those two. They could have gone to L.A.
Yeah.
It would have been perfectly fine.
I was expecting Kevin Smith to walk on the screen eventually.
Yeah.
And Silent Bob.
Man, and then if I had to pick another one, it would probably be the scene where they get the book back. I think that was pretty cool. That's probably the only jump scare you have in the movie, when they go check and see if Danny's in there, and they pull back the blanket and Sarah Jessica Parker pops out. It's not really a scare.
But
I'm pretty
yeah.
sure anybody would like to have her in their sheets. Other than that, that's probably those are probably some of my favorite scenes. Zach, do you have any kind of favorite scenes?
I really don't have a favorite scene. I just have like little moments throughout the film. Kind of like it was kind of funny to kind of see the '90s trope that we kind of thought of kind of people back then. It was kind of cool to see the witches kind of react to like the new surroundings.
Yeah,
it's like
that
this
was
is
pretty funny.
a bus.
The devil scene too is one of my
Oh
favorites.
my god.
When they go, Master.
Yeah, that was a good one. Yeah, if I had to pick one, it probably would have been that.
And then, I mean, right when Winifred kind of figures it out, and she's like, it's just they frolic all around. It was kind of cool to see that.
It's hilarious when the devil says, Mary, go long, and she catches it, and he's like, you could be a tight end. Man, she's as big as a tight end. So, or when the mom, or when the devil's wife is like, all right, you guys got to get out, and Winifred's like, make us.
Right.
There's some
And then the Chihuahua goes after him. I know it's not a legit Chihuahua, but I mean,
it's as tiny as
whatever,
one.
Whatever dog it was.
Yeah. All right, so Zach, it seems like everybody really liked the devil scene with the devil in it, and everybody, that's probably the best part of the comedy in the movie. So star ratings. Let's give it a go. I think I'm going to give this movie a 7. And it's because of the 3 actresses, Sarah Jessica Parker, Bette Midler, and Kathy Nanjiani. That's why I give this movie a 7. It's funny. There is that 90s cult classic nostalgia feel to it, especially if you did watch it and grow up with it. So to me, I'm going to give this movie a 7. If you took away the 3 actresses, I would probably give this movie maybe a 3 or 4. Ed, what about you?
Basically, I'm gonna go a little bit higher and give it a 7.5. I mean, it's obviously cheesy. There's obvious, ways it could have been better. But I mean, honestly, like I did grow up watching it and I loved it and all that. So I'm gonna give it a little bit higher, with obvious regards to what it does lack.
No, I mean, if you love it, you love it.
Oh no, I do. But I do understand the lacks. So yeah, 7.5. I'm gonna say strong. Just love the movie.
Zach, what about you?
Honestly, like I said, I didn't hate this movie. I think it's, I think there's things to like about it. I understand why it has the cult following that it does. Like you said, I think that the 3 main actresses is really what sells the movie. I don't have a problem with the supporting cast, with the kids and everything. I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10, which I would never in a million years think that's what I would give it. But that is truly a 6 out of 10 is where I fit on
I
it.
thought it'd be Batman Returns bad.
2 out of 10.
Which one did you enjoy more?
Like which one do I
Batman
watch
Returns
again?
or Hocus Pocus?
Probably Hocus Pocus because it's only an hour and a half.
Oh my God, he's still destroying Batman Returns. You still have left Nightmare Before Christmas on the unwatched list, right? You're gonna wait till the episode to watch that.
Yep.
So yeah, okay guys, now is the main question that I asked everybody on the Facebook page before we get into emails. Simple yes or no, that's all I need. I don't need, I don't need...
My explanation.
Right. Is this film a classic to you? Yes or no? Me, I'm going to have to say nostalgia feel, yes. But does it live up to me as an adult? Does it age well to me? No. Ed?
Yes.
No.
Zach? Okay. You'd be surprised with how many yeses and emails I got from that.
Which is cool. I mean, it's something that, if you grew, like you said, Ed, if you grew up with it, you think it's a good film, that's cool.
I grew up with it too, though, and I just, for some reason, I don't know. It just...
If you watch it, like, after the show, do you think you'll like it more, like, a little bit better?
I really watched it, like, fresh this morning with a full night's sleep.
Coffee,
nothing on my mind. Talk to me, Ed. Why do I not like this anymore?
Well, I mean, okay, going back to an episode we did a while back, a bonus episode for that matter, Evil Dead.
Oh yeah, you didn't like that at all.
And maybe that's y'all's. This is y'all's Evil Dead. Because I mean, honestly, I don't understand.
But see, how can you? I don't know if you can compare that, because 10, 15 years ago, I loved Hocus Pocus.
Well, no, I'm just saying, like, maybe that's how it is.
You've never liked Evil Dead. You watched that one time, you didn't like it.
I was about to say, but I just don't understand. Like, okay, Hocus Pocus has zero other things other than just this movie. It's just this movie, and I mean, it's perfect the way it is, and I think that's part of the reason that a lot of people still do love it, is because it was touched, it was left alone after that. It's sitting in the closet, it's ready for you to ride every now and then to pick up the old broomstick, but that's about it.
Blue Chew's not sponsoring this week's episode.
I didn't mean it like that, you gutter ball bastard. Either way, Evil Dead has been beaten like a dead horse over and over and over and over and over, just like,
I mean, we got a remake in 2013.
And I mean, I'm not calling it a horrible or anything like that, but I'm just saying, like,
y'all shitting on the remake? Have you seen the remake?
No, I have not seen the remake.
Yeah.
But I mean, don't get me wrong.
That's fine.
And I like Sam Raimi. I like I said in that episode, that bonus episode, I've seen, the camera tricks and the the angles and all that he would use up and coming in Spider-Man with Tobey Maguire. But I mean, it's kind of the same thing for that. Would I consider that to spawn a franchise? I wouldn't have if I watched it back then. I would have just been like, this is, because I mean, comparing that to something like Halloween. Yeah.
Well,
I'm good.
Let's go ahead and dig into some emails that you guys sent. A lot of people this week didn't send too many names, but it's fine. So Stephanie926 wants to know, when you guys talk about editing and what's the other word I'm talking about? Editing. Yes. I lost my place. When you guys are talking about editing, what is one of the best edited films that you guys have ever seen? Random question right off the top of my head. I don't know.
It's kind of that's a hard one because I mean, don't wrong.
Hard one.
You'd have to sit there and really think about it. And I think I know what she means by as far as like movies that are like long viewed and cut short. But if I had to go right off the top of my head, I would say Children of Men. Because there's some long scenes in that movie where there's no cut to. It's just that one scene.
Mm-hmm. I would do Dunkirk. Dunkirk is really well edited.
Yeah, that's true. And the cinematography is just
beautiful.
Yeah.
At the moment, I'm not sure. I mean, don't get me wrong. I have not seen Dunkirk yet, so.
Saving Private Ryan. That'd be a good one.
Oh,
yeah.
I mean, okay. I can give that one, don't get me wrong. But yeah, I right off the top of my head, I couldn't answer that to save my life if I tried.
Anonymous said that they listened to the Dracula episode and they want to know who is our favorite Universal monster. I'm going to say Frankenstein, or the monster. Zach?
Creature from the Black Lagoon.
Personally, I like werewolves. I mean, don't get me wrong, Werewolf in Paris, or an American Werewolf in Paris is one of my favorite. The one I like an American Werewolf in Paris. It's funny that I didn't realize it was kind of more of a spoof than anything, but I've always liked that. I mean, yeah, the transformation is a little weird, but I've seen so much worse of a transformation, and I'm making quotation marks on that. But I'm gonna say that one I've always that one and the London one for that matter. I've always kind of held in decent regards with those. And then even, I know this is probably going to get me a lot of hate, but Van Helsing with Hugh Jackman.
That's a
Always
good
thought
movie.
that was really
That's a fun
nice.
action movie.
You know, even introducing Dr. Jekyll and Hyde in that too. That was really cool. But yeah.
John92 wants to know, kind of heard that you guys are not going to do the Candyman episode, kind of disappointed. Is there a reason behind that, or does nobody like the Candyman?
Well, there is a reason behind it, definitely.
I just really wanted to do a Halloween movie, like an actual, last year we did Halloween and Halloween 2018. Next year is going to be Jordan Peele. I think it's Jordan Peele's Candyman movie.
Well, he's not directing it. He's like executive
He just
producer
wrote it.
of it. Yeah.
So, I mean, it's still kind of up for debate if we're going to do Trains, Planes, and Automobiles for November's bonus. Maybe we can throw up a poll, or, I mean, Candyman did win a poll, so I think that's kind of what he's pointing to. So maybe,
I mean, we could do that, but personally, I think it's
Have
more...
you seen Candyman?
It's been a while, but yes. Personally, I think it's more of a respect factor, because, I mean, if we do that and then the new Candyman, like kind of a comparison almost back-to-back like we did Halloween and the new Halloween, I mean, we both... I don't know how highly you hold it, Zach, but at that time we were pushing that one hard, and I think that would be more of a respect factor with that, just because... If we're holding it up to that point...
Well, right now I don't know when Candyman 2020 is coming out. If it comes out in October, I mean, we can do both of next year. But Candyman, I mean, we make up the rules. Who's to say we might do Candyman for November?
Yeah, I mean, definitely.
Me and you, Ed, are doing the bonus show for November, so...
Yeah.
Favorite superhero off the top of your mind, Anonymous.
Mine's more of an anti-hero, Wolverine.
Batman.
100% Wolverine.
You can say Spawn.
But then again, close second would be Spidey. Spidey is a very close second for me.
I would probably pick either Wolverine or Captain America.
Nice.
Yeah.
Those three Captain America movies are really freaking good. I know the first one is not as well received.
I like Winter Soldier the best.
But I really like the first Avenger.
Did y'all see the possible rumor of number 4 with Falcon and, technically... Falcon, Captain America, and the Winter Soldier.
Well, I know they're getting their own Disney Plus stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be on Disney Plus. I don't know if they're going to get a full length feature film.
Candyman, the quote unquote spiritual sequel, comes out June 12th of next year.
June 12th.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not too far off, but
no, but I'm kind of disappointed about a June release date. So we might do a November Candyman. I mean, last November we did Evil Dead for the bonus episode, so
that is right.
We might as well do a horror movie for November as well.
Okay.
Let's see here. Let's do another anonymous one here. Wants to know worst movie that you could ever imagine seeing in the movie theater that you actually paid money to go see.
5-Year Engagement. I literally fell asleep. Not even going to think a second about it. I don't care. Hate me all you want. 5-Year Engagement. Me and a buddy.
I've never heard of that movie.
So. It was on a double date, and literally with an old friend of mine that's actually in Boston, and basically we both fell asleep. Our wives did not, but we did.
The worst movie that I paid for to see in the theater?
In the theater. If you have to think about, mine's going to be movie 43.
Oh, dude, I heard that's terrible.
Yeah.
The 5-Year Engagement.
I didn't even, unlike Ed, I didn't even stay and finish it. I left, I think the runtime was 140, 150. I walked out with 40 minutes to go.
I've never walked out of a movie.
Yeah.
It is hard. Yeah, I've never walked out. It's really hard for me to do. If I had to pick one, probably Transformers: The Last Night. That is atrociously bad.
You tried to get me to see that too a few months ago. You're like,
yeah, because you own it. You own it, but you've never seen it.
I got it for Black Friday, $4.
Oh, dude.
My brother-in-law would probably death stare you hard right now.
Dude, that movie is like...
I'm not saying that's his favorite, but he would probably death stare
that kind of ruined the
Oblivion.
Transformers movies, honestly, for me. It was so bad.
Tony 630 wants to know best documentary that you guys might ever dedicate an entire episode to. Documentary.
I got one.
Yeah?
Won't You Be My Neighbor, the Mr. Rogers documentary.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. That's a really good one. If I had to choose,
Oh, I know which one you might pick. Spielberg.
that one was pretty good. That one was really, really good. I used to collect a lot of documentaries. For some reason, some of those Planet Earth ones are pretty good.
Yeah.
Oh
I was gonna do a joke of like the spoiler guys. We're gonna do the Planet Earth series.
Personally,
my
the
God.
main ones I've actually watched are like on the Jack the Ripper and stuff like that.
Murder mysteries and stuff.
Basically, yeah. So I mean, I guess the Jack the Ripper one, I really loved that. But
What do you? This is.
Yeah.
I know this is kind of off topic, but it's still a documentary. But I seen it on Vudu. It's free for Vudu this month. What did you think of Super Size Me?
That one was good.
Could you imagine putting your body through that for
Ugh.
30 days?
And apparently he's doing a sequel. Did he do a sequel to it?
Yeah, but I don't think it was McDonald's. I think it was something else.
Yeah.
But can you imagine? Sometimes I feel bad after having one meal at McDonald's. Could you imagine doing that for 30 days, 3 meals a day, and you have to try everything on the menu at least once, and then if they ask you if you want it to be supersized, you have to say yes.
Yeah, he did a sequel to it. Super Size Me 2. Holy chicken.
What was that one about?
Holy chicken.
What was he eating? KFC every day?
Churches.
Oh, dude. You finish Churches and that goes right to the toilet afterwards.
Oh man.
No, the plot of it is Morgan Spurlock reignites his battle with the food industry, this time from behind the register, as he opens his own fast food restaurant.
Apparently, it wasn't that bad then. So
Yeah, but that's Super
he
Size
gone
Me.
for seconds.
Yeah, but that first one is like, god dang, like the statistics that he got after he did that experiment is like he shed like 3 years off his life or something like that. It's ridiculous.
Christopher 999 wants to know, would you guys ever do a musical? And
Yeah.
if so, what musical would
Yep.
you guys do?
I actually really liked either Into the Woods or, of course, the classic Grease. Love those two.
I'm gonna pick either La La Land because it's just probably the most recent one, or going a little old school, either Singing in the Rain or Sound of Music.
Never seen The Sound of Music.
3 hours. That's probably why.
And
But it's very good. Very good.
if I had to pick one that I really, really enjoyed the past few years besides La La Land, it would probably be Les Miserables.
Oh, dude, I don't know if I could say that again.
You didn't like it?
I didn't say it. It's just I didn't. I enjoyed the film, but I never had the desire to rewatch that.
No?
Mary Poppins Returns would be a good one.
Anonymous says, would you guys ever cover something like Borat?
Oh, man. I think I would out of the three of us, to be
Now,
totally
hold on a
honest, more
second.
than any.
I'm going to be the guy in the middle, and I think that film today is way more political than you'll ever know.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
Well, I
I
mean-
think something like that today would be interesting diving into, not only looking at the stupid comedy that's in it,
Right.
but looking at stuff like how he's doing now, where, you know, didn't he do one with Bernie Sanders a few weeks ago or a few months ago? He sat down and interviewed Bernie Sanders and, like, got into some really depth questions. Bernie Sanders got up and walked off the stage.
Well, I mean...
So,
Yeah.
I mean, something like that. I mean, I've always been interested in rewatching that movie and trying to get my opinion on it. So, something like that maybe could be maybe a bonus episode one day.
Well, I mean, it's even just like the interview, because that one...
That one
ooh.
stirred a lot of controversy.
Oh, yeah, it's where... Because I think Netflix almost got sued for it.
It's
Yeah.
not a Netflix movie.
It was on Netflix, though, wasn't it?
Yeah, they put it on Netflix
Yeah.
because they pulled it from theaters.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
That's how bad
I know it
was.
went straight. I know it got pulled from theaters and it went straight to Blu-ray, but I didn't know that it was on Netflix.
It
Like
It
right off the
was.
bat.
I don't know if it still is.
exclusively on
Yeah.
Netflix for a while.
Yeah, I remember Borat.
Borat
Borat's
was
just one of those movies that, like,
Yeah.
I remember, like, they were talking about it in the news and everything.
Could you, if he did some stuff like that today, like walked up randomly and, you know, he get shot, man. He get hurt.
not as much as you think, because I watch a lot of prank channels on YouTube and all that stuff, and those guys go to hardcore lengths, and I've seen a few of them get jumped. But
are you talking about the Impractical Jokers?
No, I'm talking about like lesser known people.
They're like Facebook movies. I know which ones you're talking about. But
No.
Since with him not having social media.
Not Facebook movies at all. You can go on YouTube and Live Love Serve. Gonna shout them out. I love their channel.
Next one.
Yeah.
Next one from Anonymous. With January coming up, do you guys have any big movies you want to do in 2020? I think I might have read that one before. I'm gonna kind of rephrase that because I think I did ask that one already. January coming up. Do you guys want to? Is there an older movie you'd want to cover that's maybe not a theatrical release? Something maybe like a Terminator 2 or a Fellowship of the Ring. You guys have something in the back of your mind that you just really want to talk about one day?
I do think a Lord of the Rings episode would be a pretty cool thing.
Yeah. Lord of the Rings.
Or even Hobbit for that matter. That would be nice.
Yeah. Hey, buddy, you got a 10-day vacation, so.
10-day vacation. The question I was gonna ask you guys, I'm gonna ask you before y'all leave today, pick me out a few things. There's a lot of stuff in here that I haven't seen, and right now everything is up for grabs that I might watch.
Okay.
So.
Well, I think on our final episode for 2019, when we maybe when we do our top 10 of the year or whatever, we'll probably go through some 2020 releases and see. Whether you guys are interested in them or not. So. Yeah. So that really doesn't answer the question now, but.
No. But I think that's going to wrap up on our Hocus Pocus episode. We gave it the star rating. We went through some emails. We talked some of our favorite scenes. Looking back at it, what do you guys have to say about Hocus Pocus? Final thoughts, Zach?
I'm good.
No final thoughts?
I'm good.
No? Ed?
Still love the movie. It's still one of my favorite all-time classics.
Which is
Disney,
fine.
definitely.
I'm not dogging you for that. It's just it just wasn't my cup of tea. So, what about you, Johnny?
Final thoughts of the day. If you guys want to see a movie that is funny, and again, like I said, I didn't trash this movie, but I do think that it's unwatchable if the three main characters weren't in it, or actresses. But with me saying that, if you do want to pick out a movie that is funny and that gives that Halloween vibe for the entire family, including, 5-6-year-olds, if you enjoy good practical effects, if you enjoy good costumes, because I think the costume design was really good. The story was kind of off. It is what it is as far as the storyboard goes. I think the effects as far as the explosions, or Winifred chasing Max with the broom and while he's driving, while some of those are nice and they pop out, I think that you guys should check it out. Hocus Pocus is one of those movies that for the longest time, like I said, I think I just might have gotten burned out on it. I think that this morning's watch would probably be the last time I watch it, maybe for a few maybe 6 months. I don't know. Maybe if I don't touch it for a while, for a season or two, maybe it'll, kind of find its way back. But you guys can find this movie really, really cheap. It's $2.99 to rent on all the streaming devices: YouTube, Amazon Prime, Vudu. And then of course it's going to be on Freeform all the rest of the month. So you can actually just Google Hocus Pocus 1993. And, or go to freeform.com and it gives you its entire watch list right there. So, it's good for the entire family. Go check it out. It's not a bad movie. But again, we don't have to tell you to go check it out because this is a cult classic. You guys love this movie. No other email has, been full. I haven't had as many emails as I had about this movie in particular. When I put this movie up on the Facebook page, on the Facebook poll, everybody always goes crazy on the likes and the comments. Same thing on the Instagram and the Twitter. It's crazy with how much social media following that this movie has every time I post something about it.
What's the most requested film we've gotten? Because I know Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse was really big.
Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, Hocus Pocus. Right now, if I had to pick, it'd probably be the one. But that's going back from the time we started this podcast with Psycho all the way to now. So, people, yeah, they wanted to know about it last year, and then this year, they finally got it.
Yeah.
And there's 3 different opinions about this movie. Somebody loves it, somebody likes it, and somebody thought it was trash. So it's not
I
that
didn't
bad.
think it was trash.
Isn't the most appreciative of it. Just kind of
Yeah.
Which is fine.
Okay, look.
Yeah.
To put it in perspective, do I think it's one of the worst things I've ever seen? No. So.
Which I am going to be interested in the Nightmare Before Christmas episode we got coming up. And then, guys, just 2 weeks from today, we go through Star Wars The Force Awakens, which I'm really excited about that episode, and that kicks off the road to Star Wars Rise of Skywalker.
Yes, sir.
So, and then next week we'll have the
We'll talk the final trailer breakdown. The tickets go on sale tonight, so I'm sure you and Ed are going to get yours, and I'm going to get mine, and we will definitely do an episode.
Well, yeah, with the December movie, I don't know. Don't know when I'll probably get to go see it. I don't think it'll be opening day.
What? You're
Unfortunately,
not gonna go Thursday night?
I'm not gonna be able to go that Thursday night now. But I probably will go see that opening Sunday.
Okay.
So it's gonna be interesting. And then don't forget to follow us on the Instagram at Cine-Men Movie Podcast. The Facebook page is facebook.com/moviereels405. Then the email, guys. I am tremendously surprised about all the emails we're getting. And that is cinemen921@gmail.com. So, yeah. Zach, anything else?
No, that pretty much does it for me. Oh, I'm going to be able to see a advanced screening of Knives Out on Saturday. Ryan Johnson's new movie, so I'll come back next Monday with a review on that.
Nice, that'll be nice. I want to see that. Ed, what about you?
Pretty much nothing to add. So this is Edward saying I'll see you on this silver screen.
Nice.
This is Zach signing out.
And guys, don't forget to follow us on the Facebook page. And leave a voicemail if you want at 405-590-5711. And we will talk to you guys next week for Halloween 2. But don't forget, that is not the Rob Zombie Halloween 2. And we'll see. So,
man.
yeah, I'm sorry to disappoint you guys. But next week, Halloween 2, just a few days from Halloween. So, can't wait to talk to you guys next week on the Cine-Men Movie Podcast.